knew that was going to happen. Anyway, good evening. It's Monday, which means it's time for Enterprise at 8. This is Live Long and Podcast Star Trek Enterprise Rewatch series. It's been over 20 years.
20 years?
Since tonight's episode. See, I wrote it into the actual script this time. The Catwalk first aired, but we're just getting started here at Enterprise at 8. I'm Jody Simpson, and along with me is the man who is proposing we take refuge in a crawl space, Adam Woodward.
It would be fun. With you guys, it would be imagine that. Imagine that, Kevin. Holy. Kevin wisecracking in the background. Dave trying to organize everybody. Jody wisecracking in the background.
For some strange reason, your webcam looks different today, Adam. It looks like you're like an evil CEO or something.
He looks like he's the captain of that ship that was trying to take it over. Like, he's just a dark silhouette for one part.
Hold on. I'm going to turn some lights on. I'll be back.
Oh, that's fine. That looks good.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
And, of course, Adam and I are joined by some awesome panelists. I guess that's subject, but anyway.
Subjective. It's subjective.
Yeah, subjective. Tonight, joining us is Live Long and Podcast awesome producer and the man who didn't realize space was at a premium on Denoblia.
Yeah, that's right. It's 12 billion people in one continent. It makes Phlox feel right at home.
Depends on how big the continent is, though.
Yeah, but Jody, it's a camping trip, right? This whole thing.
This is almost like going on a camping trip.
Well, that's what Archer thinks it is. I've never camped in a catwalk.
Your boat gently down the stream.
Okay.
All right.
We don't need that. All right. And who could forget the man who would rather die in a storm than share a catwalk for 8 days with Captain Archer, Kevin Millard.
Did you notice he never sat in his new captain's chair?
No.
It was so
There's a fuel can with a bag on it.
It's just a barrel on the ground with and some netting. Yeah.
Exactly. So tonight's episode is, as we said, the Catwalk. This is the 37th episode in the series. This episode is about when a deadly neutronic storm threatens the ship. The crew must take refuge for 8 days inside the maintenance shafts of the warp nacelles.
Yeah.
That's only like part of it. But anyway, first thoughts.
I liked it. I think that the antagonists are kind of blah, but I think that the overall premise of the episode works well, and I think that it's an interesting thing to see this crew come together. However, of the 83 people on board, we only know 5 of them, or care about 5 of them or so. But there's that one who wants to know who was the first ambassador to Vulcan. So I guess she's somebody. It might be
like a teenager exchange student or something.
Yeah. He's like, you got your homework done yet? Mm-hmm. Of course, we have to pay attention here to Sam. Did you see those compilation videos that went out yesterday on our new TikTok channel, Jody?
I did.
And Instagram.
I happen to be the subject of one of them.
Yeah, you do have to be the subject. Well, Sam's like it, but he wants, what's the best Sam comments video? That's what he's calling for.
Gilligan's Island.
When's Gilligan's Island coming?
It's a lot of videos to sift through, Sam. But I'll get the department working on that.
We'll see.
The road.
We'll see. Maybe we will. Might be fun.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it. I thought this was a decent episode. Archer didn't annoy me that much, which is always that automatically gives them 2 points right there. But past that, it's better than last week's.
For sure.
Easily.
Well, that's hardly a measure.
This episode's good, and I feel like we could rename this podcast to "Here's What I Think They Should Have Done."
Enterprise, what they should have done.
Yeah.
I didn't need the second batch of aliens trying to take over the ship. Just have them run into something in the storm and they have to fix it. I don't need those aliens. What I would have what I would have loved to have watched is 45 minutes of T'Pol walking around trying to make friends.
That would have been fun.
That would have been
an awesome episode. They're all stuck in close quarters. She has to go around that's just gold. That's a golden episode.
That would be interesting, yeah.
But alas, no.
What I thought was interesting was the fact that they show everybody and they're like, okay, brace for impact kind of thing. No one bothered to worry about the dog. Like, my dog can barely stand in my car while it's driving 40 kilometers an hour. So, like, that dog must have been like, push, 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 push.
But how do they? I mean, he must be bouncing all around all the time. I mean, once they're, if there's no dampening fields on, I mean, they're in trouble.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they don't have dogs on anymore.
No.
None of the other captains brought dogs on. So.
Do we ever get away from the fucking water polo?
No.
I knew that was going to come up because the minute I saw that, I'm like, oh, Archer's about to look at something. It's got to be water polo related. And then sure enough, it is. And I'm just like, oh. Yeah, he's like cursing it out. He's
Only slightly.
Oh.
Yeah. And T'Pol's just like, shut up.
Do you know anybody? Have you ever met anybody in your entire life that liked water or played water polo? Because I haven't.
Well, I know lots of people that like water, but I've
water, sure. But water polo is so specific.
I know one person that plays polo.
Somebody must have asked.
Polo.
Like, is Rick Berman or Brandon Braga ever explained this? Like, it's just the weirdest thing to get.
They were like, we got to give him some like weird sport.
For some reason, I feel like it was Bacula's call. And
yeah, he's
like,
what if my character loves water polo?
I'm going to look into this while you guys are talking.
We got it. All right, Adam.
Jody, yeah, let me go. I like this episode. It reminded me a bit of the I can't remember the name of it, but the bury and sweep one where Picard was trying to stay away from another bunch of people trying to take over that Enterprise.
Starship Mine. Yeah, that's a good episode.
A very good episode. So, after the last few weeks where we've been a little bit disappointed, Kevin, it was a welcome reprieve. Quite liked it.
Sure. My big question, guys, is maybe they explained this out in the episode and I missed it. But okay, fine. They gotta all get in the nacelle, right? Because that's protected from the radiation. I like that premise of it. But there's 83 people all in this one nacelle, and they have two. The ship has two. A visual for those who forget what the ship looks like. But why couldn't they use
one, Dave?
Because it's on the slightly sideways.
Thanks for saying that, Kevin, because I didn't want to point that out. But
yeah.
Okay,
right.
I have the answer.
Okay, what is it, Jody?
Do you want the answer? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, according to Bacula, explanation of why water polo is included in the show, Archer's interest in water polo is something added by the writers, specifically producer Rick Berman, whose son played in the sport. Bacula, who also played polo while growing up, had also pushed the writers for giving Archer a second sport of interest, lacrosse, which did not come to fruition.
Well, like when they played like that weird desert lacrosse with Clancy Brown.
That was probably something to do with Bacula.
That's more of a sport than water polo is just, I don't know. Anyway, Rick Berman, that explains it.
Whoa. Let's not shit on our demographic of water polo enthusiasts.
Oh yeah, they're all out there.
Yeah, the chat's going wild on that.
Of them. Yeah. Well, Sam's in the chat.
Do you like water polo, Sam? Let us know. So yeah, they were getting ready to do some exploring here, right? I guess the planet would not have protected them from this storm.
Guess not.
Did everyone on the planet die, or did everything on the planet die?
Well, the only thing that was there was animals, apparently.
Did all the animals
Like, it's
die?
uninhabited, but there's animals.
Okay.
I never understood that logic, but anyway.
Yeah, they talk about there being this great, a big gorge deeper than the Grand Canyon. They were going to go whitewater rafting or something until he's never even heard of water polio. Well, that's a
Well, polo is what we're talking about. Water polio is something completely different.
right. But these guys show up and they'll be in a good amount of the episode.
The one on the left is
I know him.
We know him.
Too.
He's been in other things. I think other Star Trek or something. But I feel like I'll get his name as we go here. And he's like, "Hey, we gotta go warp 7 and get out of here." He's like, "We can only do warp 5."
I'm surprised they didn't play like some sort of music there.
Right. And that's the opening here.
We're not gonna be able to get away in time.
At least it's an opening that draws you. Like most of the
it's
openings
good.
in this show are like not even really related to the story half the time.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. There's a bit of intrigue here, but not else. And then the situation is explained to us right after the credits here that this big storm is coming that they cannot run. That's the one part I find strange. Well,
how wide is this storm?
And does it go faster than light?
Also,
I guess
yo,
you would have to.
shit, yeah, of course.
It
I
has
guess
to,
it
right?
does.
If you have to do warp 7 to keep away from it, I would
Well,
say
they're going to be. Didn't they say
it
they're in
goes
the
at least
storm
6 times faster than the speed of light.
Right, and they're going to be in it
Right.
for six days or something, right? 7 days, right?
Yeah,
What was it?
8 days I think is what
So
it
it's
ends
pretty
up.
wide.
Yeah, it's wide and it's moving very fast.
But if they look at it through, and maybe I think someone like Dave P could explain this to me. It happens in all of Star Trek. It looks like a ribbon. Could they not just go up,
Go up? Yeah.
or down? Like
in the 3-dimensional of space, there's a lot of space.
They're like Khan in Star Trek 2.
right?
Limited multi whatever they said he two-dimensional two-dimensional thinking.
Right. On the catwalk. Yeah. And they're saying that this is pretty grim, that even if everyone got in sick bay, which is shielded, it wouldn't protect them. The ship might survive this, but not from the radiation. And this is where we get our trip here.
What about the catwalk?
What about the catwalk?
On the catwalk, yeah.
Yeah, on the catwalk.
Trip shakes his little booty on the catwalk.
You know what I mean? And I do my little turn on the catwalk. Yeah,
No.
on the catwalk.
Let's not get sued.
Hey, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
So that character, if you want to bring him back up again, his name's Zach Grenier.
Oh, what, like the 3 aliens there?
Yeah.
Where is he? Zach Grenier. What's he from?
Okay, he's known for Deadwood, Donovan, Fight
Donovan.
Club.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes,
he's
he
the
was in
boss.
Fight Club.
He's the boss in Fight Club.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. That's where I know him. Okay. Yeah.
A bunch of TV. Good Fight. Donovan, like I said, Law and Order. So yeah, you've seen him on a lot of things over the years. Good
Sure.
Wife.
Okay. Yeah,
Yep.
That's definitely it. Yeah. But the catwalk. Yeah, on the catwalk. Anyway, so we find out that the nacelles are made of like a special alloy or something. They tell us in the episode, which makes sense. They
have shielding.
They have shielding. Makes sense. Even Flux is like, could work. Mm-hmm. Not bad, Commander. And they kind of put this whole plan together. It's like a 4-hour plan. They only have they couldn't have got far away enough away. And the other thing they tell us in this opening too is that a Vulcan ship ran into it and they were almost destroyed until we find out later they were all killed. So this is nothing new. But
Which I think they were just trying to play that she was like trying to avoid, making him feel worse or something like that.
Just try to keep morale high.
It almost came off like she was just lying to him for fun. Like
a little bit. I
Yeah.
forgot. I got the details. Like I gotta remember,
Yeah.
I like we had a new writing team for this episode too. Something a little different than Berman and Braga all the time.
We needed a break. It wasn't going so well.
No. I think those guys were burning out because they thought they had to rewrite every episode. You need to do trivial debates clips, and the first one should be Jeff's baseball answer when he wanted.
that was such a stupid answer. He wanted what?
Sexy female umpires to help boost women's baseball. No, just baseball revenue and make it more exciting. Anyway, so right now they're in
sexist pig.
Yeah, there he is. He's got a business model. He thinks he's got
trying,
something to it.
anyway.
Yeah. So normally, like this is where the warp plasma would go through, right? Like, and this would be very hot inside. This would be like super. The hotter it gets in this thing,
300 degrees.
At least 300 degrees, right? That's like running temperature. So, yeah, they're looking around, and I like how he's like, "What about a latrine, Tucker?" He's like, oh, I didn't think about that. You didn't think about that? 83
He
people
only
living
had
in
4 hours.
Well, that's why they need Mayweather. He's lived on these ships. He knows. He knows where the priorities are.
You're lucky we've got a toilet.
Yeah, we're lucky, to get a toilet here. Only 83 people living in a tube for a week. Why would you need that? Yeah, and again, could be 2 tubes. Could be
Once
2
I
tubes.
saw that flashlight, I thought he was going to start telling ghost stories.
Yeah.
Well, his
Yeah,
face looks like it. He's about ready to go.
He's ready.
Ooh.
Oh, I'll tell you an old ghost story, Commander.
It's like, we only have 4 hours.
Did I ever tell you about the guy who got lost in the nacelle?
Yeah, he talks a lot about how like his dad ran into one of these storms before and how scared he was and how they almost didn't survive it. So there's a bit of that. They made these aliens go through the decon process. Not normally we see something that make them aliens do, but it was kind of interesting to see that.
Smelling the gel.
He's like,
Yeah,
he's like,
smell the
this
tail.
smells like a Vulcan. Why does this smell like a Vulcan?
He's like, sorry about the the sauna.
Vulcan goo.
There's that guy again, the dude from Fight Club, Zach Grenier.
The guy, the captain of this group here, though, has been in a lot of Star Trek.
The other guy, Captain. What's
He looked familiar, but I didn't really
know. I couldn't
figure it
really say where I knew him from.
There's
and
only really like one scene that you can actually see his whole face.
right. Anyway, and then we get this whole montage. They're loading up things, guys. They're taking whatever they can in this 4-hour period. They had to sort of like turn the nacelle into.
So I got a problem with this.
With what?
And I'll tell you what I got a problem with. They're sitting here bringing in all these supplies and everything, but no one bothered to say, hey, we should probably bring the EV suits in just in case there's a core breach or something and we need to use them for something. So they have what, 1 or 2, they said?
They had at least 3 of them because at one point Reed, Archer, and T'Pol will go off on the mission.
Yeah, but he had to go to get some, didn't he?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so they had 3 then.
You see them grabbing in here in the montage.
Yeah, so you see them grabbing a couple, right?
Yeah.
But it's like you're going to be in an environment that could go back to 300 degrees. You should have as many suits as you can.
Mhm.
But yeah, okay, I get it.
Right, but if the radiation kills them, it's all for naught anyway, too, right? So they have to survive the 8 days, and then we get the whole scene here where Phlox is like, you're not giving me enough room for all my cages. It's all as a pet store guy, Adam. Maybe this resonated with you. They couldn't get enough floor space for all the cages.
Listen, we've had situations like this in my company. For example, the Fort McMurray fires. The fires are coming so fast. Get the animals. They go into cars. We got to, you got to save them.
Yeah.
Got to save the animals.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yep.
Well, and T'Pol wants them to share cages.
They'll eat each other.
They'll eat each other, he says.
Shades
Yeah,
of what the humans do.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting, Kevin. That would have been great if they would have done like a cannibalism one where they get so hungry.
They all decide who's going to
Like
eat their
alive
kids.
in space. Yeah.
Alive in space. Why hasn't somebody done that? I want to see that movie.
It may happen. Anyway, so she
I'm gonna start
relents.
writing it.
We don't understand what she had to sacrifice to give him all of his space. Which you would imagine that there was some kind of.
It would have been cooler if later on, like half a day later after they've already started, they're like, "Where's the latrine?"
Oh yeah, it's reallocated for cages.
Yeah. And she's like, "The what?"
Yeah,
that would have been good.
did they? Sorry.
Wouldn't they bring a phaser and just you need your bucket, but you can get rid of it pretty simply. I think
Vaporize it.
Well, and they're like, "We're in such a rush. We can only grab like the necessities." Well, you're in the middle of a foreign area in some sort of thing. Yeah, you should be bringing some sort of defenses with you just in case. Like, I'm sure
Whatever you can think of.
Yeah, there's got to be like a pack that has like a phase pistol and like other routine things as like an emergency kit or something.
Right.
I guess
This is also the scene here where we find out that these guys don't know anything about stellar cartography. because they said they were stellar cartographers. And he's like, "Oh, help us update our star charts later on." He's like, "What if they ask us questions? We don't know shit about this." It's
What
the
if
worst
we run
line
into
ever.
a guy named Picard later, and he's
Yeah.
got a whole thing
He's
for
got
it?
a whole room with the stellar cartography. Anyway. Speaking of which, out here we got Archer as he's packing up his bag with his water polo videos. We see the neutronic eddy storm coming at them, which looks just like Star Trek Online. By the way,
I'm
Doesn't look
pretty
that
sure
hard to
they
get
could have
away
flew
from.
over that.
no, that can't be. You can't go above or below. You can't outrun it. It's
You gotta stay in the
too.
line, eh?
Yeah,
I mean, like
It's the Nexus.
it is probably big. I mean, it's still very far away out this window,
Absolutely.
right.
but
But if you start that incline now and then
Yeah,
fly
you-
at it, you're gonna get
probably
over it.
Yeah.
start going up and away.
So
Up and away.
on IMDb, they call this a big plot hole because even though they couldn't outrun the wavefront, it wasn't very high. So they could simply have gone up or down instead of running in the direction it was traveling. This is one of many examples of them seeming to forget they can't move in just 2 axes, but 3.
Well,
Right.
and actually, that's one thing I have to give credit to Strange New Worlds on, because Strange New Worlds, like, they show ships showing up upside down and stuff
they
like
do.
that. Like you can
Yeah.
see like the 2 of them like this or something, right?
Right.
And it's
They
like
could've
that
made
would
this-
be more logical because there's no up, right? So it's like, how does everybody know that they're supposed to be this way, right?
But they could have made this thing as big as they needed to, right?
Yeah, they could
It's
have
not-
easily made it like a giant blob or something coming at them. rather
Yeah,
than
it's
a strip.
it's so high you couldn't go up that third
They could have made it
axis.
self-aware too, or something like that, where
could.
like it just follows them.
Sure,
You know, it's attracted to metal.
it's attracted to warp plasma, whatever. I don't know, or
It could be like that
dilithium.
Screama pillar from The Simpsons.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
And this is where she
Actually
tells
attracted
him.
to fire.
This is where she tells him, yeah, actually, all the Vulcans, or he tells her, all the Vulcans died, eh? On that mission, you said that they survived. She's like, whoops. No, they did not. I must have forgot the details. Seems fishy, he says. Anyway, so they're transferring the bridge down to the actual little command center here. This is kind of not a bad sequence, I thought. You know,
It was neat. Yeah, it was kind of cool. I like how it was very rough because, like, it would be like this is something that they're just kind of like, I like how they have like the cut fiber optic wire.
cable as their lights.
They're just like, we just rigged this shit. It's fine.
Yeah,
But you know what? Again, they're there for a week or whatever. They could have fixed it up a little nicer.
Yeah, he only had. Wait, don't he only had.
I only had 4 hours, Malcolm.
Get off his back, he says.
All right, is it time to start talking about Malcolm yet?
No, not yet.
No,
We'll
no,
get to
no,
Malcolm.
no.
No, not yet.
Do
Not
we
yet.
have to?
Oh, we'll get to
do
him.
we have to? We have to.
I got so many great read sound bites of him just being a whiner, but it's great. Anyway, so
Remember, this is the guy that's in charge of security.
there he is. Yeah. Anyway, and then they go like I like how it goes to like into like sort of the dark mode here. He's got to cut the power grid.
You know what I
And he
don't
cut-
get? They're talking about how this storm is going to like screw up the electronics. Why are all the fucking monitors still on?
Yeah, I'm still unclear on why a certain species would be immune to this, but not humans, Vulcans, and Denoblians either. That was also a bit curious. Only their species is unaffected by this radiation.
Maybe they're born into the radiation.
Maybe they're born in the darkness. Anyway, Porthos as well would not be immune to it.
The most
there's
abused
Captain's
dog
chair.
in Starfleet.
There's the captain's chair.
You're in my chair.
Emergency evac what? Emergency
Evac procedures.
procedures.
It's something for
Why would they
evacuation.
write that on a bloody?
It looks like a water jug or something.
Yeah, it's like a canister.
Yeah, he never actually sits on it.
Well,
just like
it's
his
not
other-
like Archer sits.
He doesn't sit in his actual chair either.
No,
And then he gets mad when other people do.
it's
You're
true.
in my chair. Yeah.
Yeah, you're in my
Yeah.
chair. The chair that I never use.
And when he gives like other people the con, nobody else sits in his chair
No.
No.
except for Mayweather. One time he did.
Mayweather did. Yeah. And actually, T'Pol does too.
Right. She sort of
Yeah,
just
yeah.
perches on
Episode
the
of-
edge.
Yeah, she's always on the edge of it, though. Yeah,
On the edge of her chair.
she doesn't.
She has her.
Was it-
They brought up her claustrophobia in this as well.
Yeah.
Who, T'Pol's or Hoshi? I missed that.
Hoshi.
Hoshi's got all these issues.
Hoshi.
She got a lot of baggage.
I want to know who cleared her for space travel.
Archer.
Archer.
Yeah.
Archer can't do it. It's got to be a bloody doctor.
Oh, he
Even
said
in
he wanted her.
NASA, you have doctors that clear them for things.
She was giving him every reason not to take her along back on
And he
Earth.
still did anyway.
Yeah.
What a nut bar. Anyway.
Anyway.
I mean Archer, not Hoshi.
Like she was pretty much, drafted onto the Enterprise.
Kind of. She was kind of forced into, kind of like how McCoy was forced back into it in Star
Yeah,
Trek One.
she was kind of like, it was more of a like, you kind of owe me, Hoshi.
The reactivation clause, Dave.
Reactivate the
They're called orders, Adam.
the seldom used.
I saw Maverick.
Reactivation clause.
That was a good movie.
Anyway, so they go through this whole thing where they have to like brace for the impact of the storm. This, I don't know, this goes on a little too long if you ask me. But
No,
they
I
have-
think it's supposed to portray, what kind of danger they're actually in. Like it's, I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I liked them going through the storm. It was good.
and now they're all living in this little. This would not be a fun time. All of these people living like this.
I want to know why they need a catwalk this big.
Well,
What the hell do they need this for? This thing's huge.
And Dave, you got to know these crew members who never say anything are thinking, why couldn't we just stay in the other nacelle like you just
yeah,
said?
there's 2 nacelles, guys. 2 nacelles, and we could have
Or
40 and 40.
or we could have stayed in sick bay.
Some of us could have stayed in sick bay because
the animals could have stayed in sick bay.
The animals certainly could have stayed sick.
and Phlox, Phlox and the animals could have stayed there and they would have been okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. I don't got good answers to these questions. But guys, we have this moment here where he's going to help her with her crossword puzzle.
You wouldn't know who was the first Vulcan ambassador to Earth. 6 letters, ends with an R.
Solkar, I think.
Thanks, Captain.
Oh, thanks, Captain.
Don't mention it.
He's like, so how old are you?
That
Who are you?
would be great if he
I've
was
never
putting
seen you on this ship before. Who are you?
I don't know
How
who
old
you are, but we're having breakfast in 9 days.
Breakfast. 9 a.m.
or the next morning you could see him putting his boots on. That would have been great too.
Yeah.
Oh God! Look at those eyes, though.
Oh yeah.
I think they're setting something up here. Like he knows his Vulcan ambassadors.
Of course,
Oh,
he
yeah.
hates them all.
There's Hoshi brushing her teeth. That just a light, which I thought was kind of neat. They don't normally show this. And they're talking about her claustrophobia and whatever. And then Archer goes up to the front here.
I can't see the stars, Captain. They're not moving the wrong way.
Oh yeah. You got
I
some
don't think they
comfort
have
games going
windows
in here.
in the nacelle.
Yeah, there's no nacelles or no windows there. Yeah, but they talk about these aliens. They're like, "Hey, we're trying to talk to these guys. They don't want to talk to us. They're a bunch of like recluses." And he's like, "Well, give them some time." All right, but I invited him to the card game. He says,
These guys that I've never met before and I don't know anything about them, they're probably okay.
It would have been more fun if they were more annoying. Like,
They're Packlets.
yeah.
right. Like they have to
They
live
shall
with
make
these
ship
people
go boom.
for all this time here. And he's like, "Well, just give him some time to adjust." He says, "We even invited him to the card game. Like that was some big move."
Yeah.
I want to know why they're allowed to bet rations.
Well, yeah, there's some Tuvok and Chakotay would not allow that. Remember when Tom Paris was running his gambling ring on Voyager with the replicator rations? Anyway, so Reed has to go see Phlox here.
Are you passing through, or is there something I can help you with?
He's got a little bit of an upset stomach from things. It's a bit of a sore
Hey,
point.
The EV
He's
simulator at
embarrassed.
Lunarport, or as Starfleet trainees call it, the vomitorium. Nothing to be embarrassed about.
Nothing to be embarrassed about. Don't worry
love that
about it.
he's embarrassed by having nausea. Like, yeah, people get it.
Well, and if the guys at Starfleet Academy or wherever they train or whatever, if they called it the vomitorium, then it's not really unlikely that you were going to have stomach issues. Like,
Yeah. He said there was something in his file about it. Like,
it's like throwing up at a frat party, you know? Like,
but remember
it's kinda
Worf also
expected.
Worf was throwing up. He's like, I remember made sick to my stomach, my zero G combat training. And it's kind of the same thing here. Anyway, little look there. The medicine's not totally helping here. But he asked Archer asked Phlox, why don't you move up with us, me and DePaul? We're living a little nicer up there in the front area, you know. And he's like, oh no, Captain, I like it up here, you know. Here.
I find the close quarters rather comforting. Reminds me of home.
Realized space was at a premium on Denobula.
12 billion people sharing one continent.
12 billion people, one continent. That's cramped even for Earth.
But we don't know how big the continent is.
Could be the whole planet. Could be
The whole planet could be one continent.
Well, maybe it's
And the
possible.
planet
Or
could also be 8 times bigger than Earth. Like,
the continent could be very small too.
Also, yes. Also true.
We don't. I would like to see Denoblia. I think that's something that they should do.
He
Denoblia
implies
is just India.
he implies it's close quarters. We know that from this. Yeah,
Lots
Right.
of, lots
And they'll
of,
have
lots
3
of models.
wives and 3. You think
Well,
that
that's why there's so many damn people there.
that's why there's so many people. Yeah. Exactly. Anyway, they're going through the storm here, and this is where I guess this is where they're sleeping. They just have little mat on the floor, not even like a sleeping bag, really.
Time for me to cuddle my dog and watch some water polo.
Oh yeah, you see her like sniffing the dog. She's just like, "Fuck, I gotta live with this dog."
This fucking dog. Why does he bring it everywhere? Why isn't it dead from bouncing off all the walls?
Like she's like, I gotta smell these humans all the time, and now the dog. And then he starts watching his water polo. And she tries to sleep. It's good stuff.
Look at that face. Oh my goodness.
He's like, oh, that water polo.
Yeah. It's like, look at, like, it says it every bit exciting.
Need an underwater shot there.
Yeah. That's a look. You know that look. You don't need a universal translator to know what that means.
No.
Right?
Yeah, that means seriously water polo.
What is this?
That's the waif or the waif look that when I'm in, trouble for listening to something that I could easily listen to on my headphones, right?
Right.
That's the look I get when I say I'm going golfing on Saturday.
Is water polo really not your cup of tea, huh?
Put your earbuds
It's like
in.
what? Fencing was too exciting for you?
Yeah. Well, you think they bring some earplugs, maybe?
That's right.
But anyway, then she starts on her pad here.
Am I disturbing you?
Only slightly.
Only slightly.
Would have been better if she was like scanning for life forms.
Oh yeah.
Life forms. You tiny little life forms. You precious little life forms. Where are you?
Oh, you missed the last part.
I
Last part was the best part. Anyway,
so they're talking here. I liked this conversation with them. I thought it was a good scene. I like basically this is where he's like, maybe you should try to like become like a better first officer and maybe get to know the crew a little bit more.
I'm not skilled at fraternizing.
She says. But there's a
lot more to these people than just their names.
not much more though, because we don't know most of them either.
no, most of their names. That woman we just met with the crossword puzzle, we don't even
No
learn her
idea
name.
what her name is.
Oh, he's gonna find out what her name is tonight.
Yeah, well, that's on that's on his
Is that
his
before
log.
or after he puts his boots back on?
After or before, maybe. I don't even know.
Yeah, I like how he
Archer would
asked
be
her.
the guy that brings them with him.
Have you ever gone camping?
This is almost like going on a camping trip. Haven't you ever gone camping?
I was taken to the desert and left to survive for 10 days.
Sounds fun.
Fucking Vulcans always having a one up.
Yeah.
One-up Archer right there, eh?
Yeah, he's like, everyone can't be. Oh, they dropped me off in the desert with nothing but a ceremonial blade.
What
and
did they
my
do?
wits.
Make you eat marshmallows? Whatever.
Yeah, I was an Eagle
Survived for
Scout.
10 days.
I guess she's forgotten about that episode where they were all on the planet Strange New World. Remember? Where they were on and they all started seeing things and whatnot, including her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was camping. That was the infamous ghost story trip.
That's true. But that was a while ago, and she seems to have not,
conveniently forgotten. Yep.
She never goes to movie night until now, until she's stuck in the cell with them.
I want to know why they're complaining about The Earth Stood Still. Like that's a great movie.
I don't know. They were complaining about everything at that point. That was kind of like the whole point. Okay, so let's get to speaking of complaining, they're betting some things here, guys.
And I'll raise you one pineapple cobbler.
I don't know what a pineapple cobbler, guys.
Only that jackass would have a pineapple cobbler.
Yeah, but and Hoshi's got nothing left to bet with but broccoli.
Broccoli?
I'm out of desserts.
Out of desserts. He's like, so Reed starts saying, I want a shower, man.
You're lucky we've got a toilet.
You're lucky we got a toilet. How about you screw off,
Well, I obviously overestimated your people's abilities when it comes to indoor plumbing.
You want a shower?
You want to take a shower? Build one yourself.
Should have
What is
just
he
spit
referring
on
to
it.
by you peoples?
You're like the engineers, I guess, like the people who work under Trip,
Oh, okay.
right?
Just kind of weird how he said that, but anyway.
Well, he's basically he's like, I'm the head of my department, you're the head of your department, and your department is supposed to build showers and things like that.
Where's the pulling together with a crew? You know what I mean? Like, first of all, Malcolm has now gone into my worst character in Star Trek. Period.
Yeah, he's pretty.
He's at the bottom of the list.
He's at the bottom. He's made
Wow.
it to the bottom. I do not like this guy at all. That comment right there. He's an officer, number one.
Yeah.
Right. I think he's the same. No, he's not the same rank.
No,
but
that's one lower.
Even more. You shouldn't be talking to your superior that way.
Mm-hmm.
Holy, he complains too much. He doesn't add value to me.
And he doesn't want any pot roast either, guys.
Pot roast? Oh, that's the third time in 3 days.
Now,
See that rolling of the eyes? That's
go back to
perfect.
the scene. Go back to the scene with the chef, the bottom of the chef, though. Look at those shoes.
Burying the lead. We meet the chef.
There's the chef right there.
He looks like the Carl Urban, medical officer uniform.
It's Jonathan Frakes, and we just never see.
Frakes, yeah, we just never see him.
Yeah, but they say thanks, chef, and but Reed's just complaining about everything.
That's a great screenshot.
Right. And he
like,
says, we're gonna have movie night.
We're having movie night in here?
Captain's orders.
Captain's orders.
What does he want to do? Just sit there and bitch the whole time? Like
that's what he's
got
looking to
8
do.
days, man.
Yeah,
You know
he
what?
wants to sit there, bitch, and wet his pants. That's what he wants.
Maybe that's why he's so pissed off, because he already shit himself and he needs a shower, but they don't have a shower.
And he doesn't want pot roast, and he wants a shower.
Now they missed an opportunity here, because they could have easily been like, every so often someone random would go by and just go and then just kind of keep walking.
Also, after 3 days of pot roast, I'm not complaining. I'll go a 4th or 5th day.
Absolutely.
Right.
So yeah, exactly. Anyway, Malcolm.
Not only that, the chef is actually still working. How is he cooking?
He's got a hot plate.
And then there's
a hot plate for 83 people. That's going to take a while.
Jody, can you go, or Dave? Can you go back and play Trip there? The captain's orders.
Yeah. Captain's orders.
Captain's orders.
So do you notice that Trip, every time he's challenged by a crew member or
captain's orders,
he doesn't give any explanation other than captain's orders.
Yeah, captain told me to do it.
Yeah, he would blindly follow Archer off a cliff. Is how he is.
But
Captain wants a movie night. We're giving him a movie night. End of story.
Is that really bad though?
No,
that's really what he's supposed to be doing.
Well, he is, but he's also supposed to be, anyway, training out, learning, telling why maybe.
He needs to tell Malcolm just to shut the hell up. That's what he needs to do.
Riker doesn't just look at everybody and go, "Hey, that's what the captain wants."
Hey, that's what Picard said. Don't bitch
Right.
at me. I'm just
Sure.
here for the women.
Yeah. But yeah, normally because he's not the first officer, but he's often playing the role of first officer, kind of like more than in ways that T'Pol doesn't. And so it's
the unofficial first officer for Archer because it's like his best pal.
Anyway, these guys are cooking up a barbecue, guys, on a plasma manifold, which apparently is a safety hazard.
I want to know why it took them this long for somebody to figure that out. Like, there's a lot of smoke there.
Yeah. Trip is not enjoying this. It looks like they're cooking up like roots or something.
I thought it was more like intestines.
Entrails.
Or something, but,
I thought the entrails as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Could be. They're like, well, we can't eat your food. It doesn't agree with us.
But I do like here that Trip asserts his dominance over Malcolm by handing him this thing. He takes it and he's like, I'll get Chef to do this, and then he just hands it to Malcolm with no words.
Yeah, look at Reed.
He's just like, hey, Reed, go be my bitch. Yeah. I like that, actually.
Yeah. And then he's up here. He gets called to the front here by the captain. And they're figuring out that there's some sensor glitches or whatever.
Sensor.
Right. Sensor.
Depends on who says it.
Sensor. Well, Trip says,
I understand we're explorers. We're supposed to keep an open mind about different cultures. But these guys are driving me crazy.
Yeah, that was him talking about the.
He's had enough.
Yeah, he said enough. They all have. I think that's like
a big Trip though. Like, you had 4 hours to basically accommodate the entire crew in one small section of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's bitching at you or about the situation. And then you have Malcolm being a total bitch about everything.
Right.
And then on top of that, you have 3 people who are very close to blowing up your ship. So yeah, that dude's definitely gone through a lot. Like, Archer's just walking around, answering crossword puzzles. Like,
hitting on the lower ranks.
Yeah.
No, dumplings, maybe. I've had dumplings.
Yeah, Sam, there's a dumpling. It's called the Dumpling King. Great dumplings. It's in Markham. Love it.
And he was strange. Yeah, we know
Sam's a little far from Markham, though, I think.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking I could send him to skip the
Yeah.
dishes.
But Malcolm has no actual work to do in this nacelle for 8 days, right? He has nothing. Like, he has no job. But Trip does. Trip has to actually keep things running. He has to get the monitor set for movie night, whatever.
Okay,
right?
but here we go. They have an alien presence on the ship, and they have no weapons, and Malcolm's sitting there bitching and farting all the time. So, who really screwed this up here? This is a Malcolm problem. Like, Malcolm should have been in charge of this, right?
Right. Well, at first he thinks
the armory officer. Like,
he does go later on in the episode, but at this point they think it's a malfunction, so they decide to send Trip to go fix it. Right. And she's like, well, to Paul's like, well, maybe it's just a sensor glitch.
Do you have any idea what the odds are of that happening?
2 sensor glitches, bad odds. Anyway, so
I don't know what the odds are.
They throw him in the spacesuit, and they say, 22 minutes before you get too much radiation, but you're still gonna get some radiation in those minutes. I guess not enough to have any lasting effects. So he's making his way through here.
And a bunch of episodes back, he was running around Enterprise in underwear, and now he's in like a full EV suit.
Yeah. We're kind of like trying to figure out why the monitor's on. He sees the tools are set that those are not his. So he's starting to kind of put together that there's stuff going on here. And then these guys show up, and he's kind of like hiding from them. There's some decent tension through here, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's
I got a little bit of a Starship Mine vibe going on here.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like Adam had mentioned, and so he kind of makes it. And I do like the shot here where he goes by the window, and we see like the storm kind of, and we see the other ship that's docked with them as well. Maybe Reed can work on some security protocols so you can't just dock with the ship when the ship's in like dark mode or whatever.
In any mode.
Yeah.
That should be something that doesn't just default to working. Like
Right.
that should be. It's like having a garage door that's always open. Like, wait, what's the point?
There should be some clearance. You should have to.
There should be some sort of
Check
code
with
you got to
someone.
put in to turn it on or something. Like,
Yeah. That stood out to me. And then he pulls out the monitor. He sees that there's a bunch of them on the bridge, and then he gets like a close up of one. And he realizes it's one of the aliens. And meanwhile, over here we see that this alien captain. We never learn his name. He's looking through all their personnel files.
So this
Learn
is the
what
guy. He's been in a lot of Star Trek. Pardon me. His name's
I know this guy. His voice
I
was
know his
extremely
voice.
familiar.
Yeah, his name is Danny Goldring. He played Lieutenant Kell in Deep Space Nine, Civil Defense. He played, he says that he's Chief Burke in Deep Space Nine, nor the Battle to the Strong.
He's the Marine.
oh,
Hold on. Oh, we got to get the Marine quotes out. How often do I ever get to bring those in?
And he's Carr in Voyager, The Killing Game.
Random
And the Nausicaan captain in Enterprise, Fortunate Son.
Oh yeah.
My platoon.
Yeah, we already saw that one.
I want to go out looking up at the sky, not at the ground.
That's
I'm not
where I
gonna
know
die
that
with my
voice
face in the
from.
dirt. Lucky me. I could use the company.
He's
You're
almost
lucky
got
I
like a
didn't kill you.
Michael Ironside voice to him, eh?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
who I thought it was at first.
Yeah.
Right.
The Klingons had us pinned down. We called for a hopper. No!
It's a real epic performance on Deep
Oh,
Space
that guy's
Nine.
my favorite in that whole episode. His
Yeah.
scenes are the best.
He's like just yelling at Jake, "Give me the water!" I just looked him up. He's actually the son of a United States naval officer, so I guess I think he had some things to draw upon in his performances. And there's him as the dark silhouette we see in one of the shots here in the episode, which I was alluding to with Adam earlier on when he had the dark background there. Anyway, these guys, then this is where they confront these guys, and they're like, "Hey, a bunch of your species are taking over our ship. That's weird."
That's a bit odd.
Right? Archer is just like, these guys are liars.
Yeah. Like, is there something you want to tell us? So, like, oh my gosh.
Right.
There you go, Jody.
They've
the
already
trust.
lied to us.
They've already lied to us.
There's the trust again. We trust them to say everything and be everything they say they are.
Yep.
No background checks.
Archer does not ever anticipate there's going to be a problem, and every single time there is.
The first ship, I guess.
He has no common sense when it comes to space travel.
You see here, he's like, screw these guys. I like how they all have the guns too. They all we don't see those phaser rifles too often employed.
Yeah, there's a good reason for that though. They're not as sexy as the pistols.
No, they look clunkier, but like almost original series-esque. But yeah. Anyway, so these guys explain, oh well, we were like recruited to be like bad soldier guys or something, and then I don't know, like their story was kind of whatever. I was kind of like,
well, it's a militia that has taken over a government, right?
so they're basically like political refugees, who and we also find out they're not affected by the radiation at all.
Oh,
but
by
they
the
pretend-
way, Captain Archer completely believes him again.
Yes.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah.
That's the Archer.
They've
way,
already
my
lied
friend.
to us.
He goes for the downtrodden every time. He doesn't check his facts.
No, bad fact checker.
Bad captain.
Anyway, so he's like, well, now that we know these things, anyway, we go over here. These guys are trying to take over the ship. Mr. Marine guy, it's the Marine. No, I'm not going to deal with my face in the dirt. So much better now. I know it's him. Anyway, so they're kind of formulating their plan, walking along the catwalk here, guys, and we see the warp plasma. It's starting. If the impulse or the engines actually come online, they're all going to be killed. But they know they can't just leave. So I like the stakes of this, that they have to kind of try to solve the problem quickly, right? And they don't want to let them know that they're here. They think the ship's abandoned too, the aliens. So anyway, good thing they brought the extra suits here, Jody.
Yes, that's a good thing.
Yeah. Trip can't go because he already was exposed, so they have to send new people.
Well,
You
that
think
just
you would-
gives them a reason for Malcolm to go?
Maybe they could have got those 3 aliens to help them since they're not affected by the radiation.
Seriously, yeah, they should have said,
Yeah,
"You
that's a
guys
good
go out
point.
and deal with this."
Yeah, how about you help us with this little mission, or at least one of you, But nope. So we get these guys.
That guy's interesting.
Yeah, the guy he's like second in command guy here, or whatever his deal is.
Yeah.
They look tough.
Yeah, I think that's what they were going for. They definitely wanted some tough looking guys.
He looks like he's out of like Beetlejuice.
Yeah, they like
in the waiting room. Yeah,
yeah, it's pretty dark. It's got like the dark eyes and things like that. So, and then we get this like Archer goes into the what do you call this, like the galley, like the kitchen, and he starts thing. We hear T'Pol and Reed are trying to take off the wharf engine so that they don't all die from heat. And so Trip's kind of in mission control here with Mayweather, kind of like helping them along here as they're trying to.
Well, and I like how he's like, it's in panel 29, starboard section, blah 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 under this. Make sure you don't touch this, blah 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 blah. It's like, wow, like the man actually knows the ship at least.
Spoken like an engineer.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. He knows his things.
And the rest of them should just be like, so where is that?
Again, like there's 70 something people on this ship that don't get to do anything ever. Only like the 5 or 6 people.
Well, they're doing stuff that we don't see.
Yeah, I guess.
Stellar cryptography and stuff like that.
Stellar cryptography. Yeah. Anyway, so they're trying to figure it out, and then Archer calls up here to up to the Marine. You're in my chair.
You're in my chair.
All
I got a very Bruce Willis from Armageddon vibe on this part here.
Yeah, did you know my new chair is like a bucket of water on the ground, and you're sitting up there?
And
like,
I don't want to miss a thing. Anyway.
Yeah, is Archer actually struggling?
My daughter,
because
she's
throughout
the one
this
with the crossword puzzle.
Throughout this conversation, like Archer's really struggling. Like, is this actually the radiation affecting him, or is he putting this on?
I think he's putting it on.
Yeah,
because
I'm pretty sure he's
they
putting it on.
Yeah, I think he's putting it on because the suits are going to protect him for at least 22 minutes, is what they said.
Right.
So,
anyway, he's going here. He's like, you can't even stand. What are you going to do? He's like, I'll blow up the ship before I let you have it. It's classic.
I think this is Archer's way of looking desperate, and he's going to do anything, right?
Right. I guess that's what he's trying to sell him here.
He's trying to threaten them on it, yeah.
Right. And he's like, hey, don't you got some guards down in that section? Why don't you go get them to take Archer out?
I want to know why they haven't found these guys yet. Like, did it not occur to them that they could be somewhere other than the main saucer section?
And that's what they do. So they send guys after him with flashlights, and then there's like
they have a sensor that can figure out that there's a ship in their docking bay that is theirs. So they must have sensors that are good enough to find life forms.
Nope.
Anyway,
not inside of an
yeah, phase pistol.
Yeah, better than those rifles.
Good looking.
He's firing back at them. They're firing at him.
Ladles are flying around.
Yeah, we see here the ships attached to each other, and they're and Mayweather's flying right for the eddy itself, like right for like the eye of the storm, right? Because they still have help control down there.
Captain, it's getting hot down here. Florida.
Getting kind of hot. It seems like it was getting hotter specifically where Trip was, because when we look at the rest of the crew, they don't look nearly as hot. Anyway, so the firefight goes on. Pew, 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 back and forth, pew pew, back and forth, and yeah.
Oh, man.
He looks like he's defusing a bomb.
Yeah, he's pretty hot for Mayweather there. You think that they could at least go down to their tank tops?
This is the Malcolm just farted face.
Oh yeah, that's like stinky farts.
This one's bad.
But it works. They're able to take the engine offline here.
It's got multicolored LEDs.
What's this guy doing again? Oh, he's holding on. He's holding on because it's a rough ride right now and it's hot. And these guys are like, we got to hold on. And they're like, no, he's going to blow up the ship. And eventually these aliens decide to throw in the towel around this point in the episode. And they leave voluntarily. See you never. And
how did the docking bay hold on to that other ship without totally getting destroyed?
With all that turbulence, and it didn't torque itself off. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a rough ride. Yeah, you're right. A good point. Yeah. Anyway, so now they actually have to get away from the eddy that they were intentionally steering themselves at, but that seems to work out. Like Hoshi doesn't look as hot as like Mayweather and Tripp did there. Like there's not as
She's
much.
Asian.
She can handle the heat.
She's got better heat tolerance.
All right.
She used to be in Hawaii.
Yeah. Well,
Archer was sweating.
He's from the Everglades.
He's from Florida. He can't get much hotter than that.
He should be fine.
Yeah. Anyway,
DePaul definitely can handle it.
DePaul's the most acclimated for heat, right? So anyway, they like Reed gives like Mayweather a look like, you did good, boy, or whatever, and he's just like,
Malcolm's like, I may have dealt that one because I definitely can smell it.
I farted.
I might have farted.
Yeah.
I peed in my suit again. It's a fetish for him now.
Captain, kill me.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so they're
you want to hear a real ghost story?
They're going through this storm here. They're watching the movie night.
And Malcolm's an ass.
Malcolm's an ass. They're talking. What's the movie called?
Oh, this is damn, I can't remember what it's called now.
I don't remember.
Right. But T'Pol figures it out. She figures out the plot, or who's gonna, who's the true bad guy, like within a moment, and it's obvious. And basically, this whole scene just kind of adds up to that. She likes movies too. And then they get the news. Hey guys,
look at the guy up front though. Guy up front, he's having a blast.
Oh,
they also just heard that they're getting out of the storm early, and they get to leave the nacelle.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, now none of us have to smell Malcolm. Yay!
Go
Yeah.
get
And
your
he's
shower,
like, why don't you come to movie night anytime you want?
we do it every Tuesday at 8.
Yeah, every Tuesday. She's like, maybe I will.
Maybe it's at 9.
And they're out of the storm, and then like Kevin, like I had to think of you in this episode, just sort of, like they get out, they get their bags, and they say goodbye to these guys. Like there's a little bit of an ending here, but then she's like, okay, that's it, and he goes, cool, and that's it.
Later.
Yeah. This is not what I'm talking about when I say there's no ending. It did have an ending. The ending was her watching the movie night with
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, and that's the episode in stills. So maybe we can get to some fun facts.
Yes, we can.
Fun facts with Adam.
All right. Okay, so this is the only time in the Enterprise series that Chef, the ship's cook, appears on screen. Although he doesn't speak and is filmed from the waist down only. It's part of a running joke he ordinarily is never seen, but despite being mentioned throughout all the seasons. Part of the reason for eluding him was out of respect to food stylist Dorothy Duder, who made the show's food props and therefore was considered the real chef. The chef was played by frequent Star Trek stand-in Richard Sarstedt, who coincidentally was a stand-in for Jonathan Frakes on Next Gen.
So it was Riker.
It was
a
Riker.
stand-in.
Yep. Later in Enterprise, These Are the Voyages, Frakes' character Riker plays the chef in a holodeck program.
Yeah.
Okay.
The shoes are pretty fly though.
Which is the worst episode ever.
It is. It's
We got some time before we get to that one.
Okay. This episode is the only episode in the Star Trek which featured a product placement. The Nike logo on Captain Archer's water polo bag. I did not see that.
No, I didn't either.
Just do it. Just do water polo.
So Nike still exists in 21 something.
Maybe. The episode this is the episode where the first time the pantry was seen and the catwalk above the Enterprise are seen. Yep.
On the catwalk.
I
A
don't think
neutronic
the pantry's
storm.
right though.
Yeah, because Hoshi was in there.
Yeah.
What was that?
She was
quote?
making soup.
Carrots.
Carrots. Maybe this was shot before that one. I don't know.
It's apparently only a few days later in terms of like the date that we get here.
That's it. All right, where was I here? Okay, the
Makes it strong.
Neutronic Storm. Neutronic Storm was previously encountered in Star Trek Voyager Fairhaven and referenced to in Voyager Live Fast and Prosper. Yep.
Oh, okay.
It's the same storm?
It's the same type of storm, yeah.
Oh, okay. They should
But I
have
don't
made it the Nexus.
remember.
That would have been cooler.
I don't remember it being like purple or anything like that.
It says reference to it. Doesn't mean we saw it.
Not shown. Okay.
Yeah. Although named in a dialogue clip from the movie Gun Fu, The Tide, 1973, the short sequence seen in the monitor during the movie night was not from that episode. So I guess it was a show. Elizabeth Magnus, who plays a crew member, previously appeared in Star Trek Enterprise Minefield, our favorite episode. Or Davin's favorite episode, our worst episode.
Well, it doesn't help you don't like Reed, and he's featured heavily in that episode.
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay, after T'Pol grants him extra space for his animals, Dr. Flock says, my Edosian slugs thank you. Edosians were three-armed race featured prominently in Star Trek the animated series with Lieutenant Eric's. Evidently, they have slugs on their home world of Edos.
Yeah, the three-armed people. They had a big arm coming out of their chest. Like, what?
And just bear with me here. I'm just switching screens. Just I'm a little slow tonight. And there was a lot of goofs, as you say it. I think we've called out many of them tonight. Just going to check on a couple things here.
A couple goofs.
Yeah. Sorry. There we go. I'm running a little slow here, Dave. Pardon me. Well, one of them was evidently the fact that they don't think in three dimensions. And then the other part is that everybody seemed to be calling out the fact that they had other alternatives. They didn't have to have 80 people in that little nacelle, right? You could have had them in 2 nacelles and in the medical sick bay. Yeah.
There you go, Dave. You're vindicated. It was in the fun facts.
There you go.
Yep. Again,
but they only had time to make one toilet, so maybe that's why they all had to be in one nacelle together.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of. Yeah, I think that he did a pretty good job. I'm going to say I goof on Trip a lot, but tonight he seemed to do a good job.
Trip was fine in this episode.
Yeah, Dave, I think it was you. The Wavefront is to be said traveling at at warp. Yet it is established in Next Generation that no natural phenomena is capable of traveling at warp velocity.
Right. Yeah. It seemed it's science fiction, but
yeah.
But you can also look at it from the other angle. Just because they haven't observed it doesn't mean it couldn't happen.
I guess, but
then they wouldn't have said that in Next Gen because they would have observed it in this.
Assuming that this log is available, yeah.
I should hope so.
You never know, though. Archer doesn't seem to know what the hell he's doing.
Okay, at one point during the storm, large numbers of pots and pans and other cooking vessels and implements fall off the shelves and crash to the floor. It's highly unlikely that a galley on the space vessel would be designed with such items stored in such a way that they would be in a land-based kitchen. Probably not. I mean, if you've seen a kitchen in a cruise ship, even they're pretty much anchored down.
Or if you were even in a submarine or something like that, right? In a place where you can lose gravity.
The risk of items falling and causing injury, even during ordinary maneuvering, would be far too great. And then finally, if the aliens wanted the ship, they simply would move off a short distance and wait to see if Archer does indeed destroy the ship or not. When Archer avoids the eddy, the aliens could have attempted to retake it or maybe destroy it out of space. Pardon me. So there you have it. Lots of holes in this one, but all in all, I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. It was a decent adventure.
Yep. It was good. All right.
Let's get to the ratings now. Yeah. Let's get to ratings.
Let's get over to the ratings. All right. Boom, boom. And let's bring it up. Okay. The Catwalk, Jody.
I'm going to give it a 7.
Giving a 7. Adam?
8 for me.
8 for Adam. I'll go 8. Kevin?
6.5.
We don't have
Yeah,
to
Kevin,
do
you
that.
were quiet. I've decided when you don't talk much, it's more to do with you don't like it.
Yeah.
Well, it's because two things. It wasn't great for me, but also it wasn't egregious. So I've got nothing to say. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't upset
Like,
you
is
or
it a standout episode? No.
no, there's no real standout moments. Like you cram all those people together in a small space. You could have done a lot more sort of interpersonal.
You didn't even need the aliens. You could have had.
Now I want to re-rate it and take my rating down by a point. Dave, 7, please. Kevin, you convinced me.
I'm bringing everybody down with me.
I'll stay at 8. I'm gonna keep it there. The audience in general likes this more. This has a 7.5 on IMDb compared to 6.5 for last week's episode. The highest rated episode on IMDb since Dead Stop. Anyway, and new writing team Mike Sussman and Phyllis Strong. Well, I guess they had written also Dead Stop, didn't they? Yeah, so good writers. And stop making Rick Berman and Brandon Braga write everything, because and it's only been 6 days since Trip was on that planet with the girl from Top Chef, Padma Lakshmi. So
Sam says it's a 6.5.
Well, it's close to what we gave it too. He agrees with Kevin.
Yep.
All right.
Well, everyone should.
Kevin's Kevin's very convincing in his ratings.
All right, and that covers the ratings. So Jody, what's the next episode?
I knew you were going to ask me that. Next episode is Dawn, which is, in a shuttle pod performing tests, Tucker is attacked by a hostile alien and forced to crash land on a desolate moon. I remember this episode being okay.
This is when they're out of money episode again.
Yeah, this is another trip and let's reuse things episode.
But it's going to be good. I'm feeling good about it, Kevin.
It isn't going to be last week's, and that's
you're going to be up
really
there
matters.
in the 8 or 9. I guarantee it.
No, he won't.
Anyway, we're coming through. All right. Well, we'll be back.
This isn't the only thing we talk about, though, Dave.
No, although this week it's one of the few things. Because tomorrow we won't be on for Star Trek Deep Space Nine tomorrow. Many of us have an engagement at Gator Ted's that we need to attend, so we're going to be going to that.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I'm supposed to be part of that.
Yeah, I would imagine you would have received an invite.
That.
That's for our hockey team. So we're gonna be taking a week off. We'll be back next Tuesday, the 23rd of August, to talk about Empok Nor, which is the next episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a whole new spin on a bottle episode, really, too, because they just take the
it really is a bottle episode.
And you know, right at the beginning, they're bringing people along just to kill them.
Yeah.
It's a great episode.
Yeah.
Can't wait till we get to it. But we've been going through every episode.
He's dead.
Deep Space Nine for the last over 2 years, and we're just about ready to wrap up season 5, and we're moving into season 6, and then in a week's time, Star Trek not Strange New Worlds. What's the next one? Star Trek Lower Decks, season 3 started on August 25th. I still have to kind of figure out when exactly that podcast is going to be, because I got to balance it around Davin coming to town, Jeff's wedding, all these other.
Davin's coming to town.
Well, he's coming in for the wedding.
Yeah, he's coming for Jeff's wedding.
Oh, good.
Yeah. He is our cousin. So, he's coming.
He's everybody's cousin.
He's somebody's cousin. Everybody's, I say. And so, it's exciting. So he'll be here. And we'll figure out how we're going to get. Maybe he'll get drunk here, and we'll have to make a new montage video. Did you guys watch that when the best moments video I put up yesterday on our YouTube channel?
I watched it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like. It was funny, like when we were breaking into song. It was a great moment in our podcast.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Unless you were on this side, right?
Yeah. Right. Are you coming to the wedding? Jeff's wedding?
I would imagine so. It's his brother.
I'll be there. I got some duties. Too. Yeah. So exciting, guys. Also, Super Mater Brothers podcasting. We're covering Big Brother 24 right now over there. If you're into that, check it out. Also, Survivor.
Yeah, us too. Us too, Sam.
It's just one of those iconic moments, you know, in the history of the podcast. You know,
Dead air.
So,
I'm
dead
fine
air.
with it.
It was interesting just going back and
Just an idiot.
I make sure
It
to
was a clip, Dave.
but I edited. I was like, this is every time Jody was setting himself up for this, like when he was just like,
I was trying to.
yeah, like he didn't understand where he was headed.
I may have been instigating it.
Yeah, indirectly, and my dad eventually he's like, I've had enough. I liked this episode. It was damn good. Yeah, the goat. That's right.
He likes it because he apparently likes something that isn't Star Trek in Star Trek.
I liked it too, Jody.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth.
He liked it. It's still one of the most controversial episodes in the history of Star Trek, if you ask. Oh,
that's right, Adam.
We should do it again.
We should go back and watch it again and see if we change our mind.
I bring other people into it. It would be really fascinating.
What, Gary 7? I'm in for watching Gary 7.
Gary 7 rewatch. Tell Ted at the wedding that Sam Hindy called you. All right, I'll let my dad know he's the GOAT. I'm sure he'll go, oh, Sam, he's that guy from Newfoundland. Okay, yeah.
Birds of a feather flock together.
Oh, so Trivial Debates, guys, coming up this Sunday. We have our next edition, guys. Chris Murphy hosting with Jody Simpson, Davin Scalehorn, and Chris Seymour competing. I'm excited for this one. Kevin, what any predictions?
Oh, Chris Seymour, all the way. He's the dark horse.
I have totally bad news for you.
Yeah, this was supposed to be Adam, but Davin is his
Adam is too afraid of me. Just tell him how it is.
Oh, Jody.
I know. I'm just kidding.
No, now I really want to battle you.
The gauntlet's been thrown down.
There will be an option, I'm sure.
There will be a reckoning. Adam Wilkin.
Unless I retire after this one.
But this will be live this Sunday, guys. So check it out. We got some great debates coming on that over on Trivial Debates as well. Check out Locutors of Trek, Davin's podcast channel. You were just on that the other night, Adam. I saw you were on talking with them.
Oh yeah, it was great. We had a good conversation. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, with Dave P and Davin over there on Locutors of Trek, and then they have X-Men the animated series X-Rated every Tuesday with Andre and Davin. I was just on that this past Tuesday. They're covering the Phoenix saga over there. I did part 3, the Cry of the Banshee. Which was gave us the great "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch" meme. So that was it's been a lot of fun over there on X-Rated. And let's talk about fighting games with Eamon Mater, also known as Sam Jerka, as well as the Hellbound podcast with Michael Chan and Alex Blackburn every Wednesday. Yeah, the main event will wait for another day, says the World Mind. And that's Chris Murphy, the next host of Trivial Debates, as well as helping out with some of those videos we put up yesterday. So thank you.
Yeah, he's doing a great job so far.
Yeah, glad to get it in there. And yes, and Davin's coming to town, so maybe we'll get the chance to get together. Who's to say? All right, so that's the Catwalk, guys. You know, I think we can say sayonara for tonight. And we'll see you next time here on Live Long and Podcast.
I'll see you back at the Catwalk. Don't be late.